So what if I told you the tax code isn't actually designed to punish you? What if it's a treasure map? That's the wild idea behind Tom Wheelwright's book, Tax-Free Wealth. And today, we're going to break down how the wealthy use this map, not just to save a little cash, but to build massive fortunes. Seriously, this could change how you look at your paycheck forever. Okay, let's start with a really simple question. Just think for a second about your budget. What is your single biggest expense? You know, the one thing that just eats up most of your money every single month. Now, you're probably thinking, oh, it's got to be my rent or definitely the mortgage. And yeah, you're not alone. But for most of us, the real answer, the big one, is something we just kind of accept. Your single biggest expense is almost always your taxes. And just realizing that, just getting that, well, that's the first step to changing the whole game. All right, now this is the part that completely flips the script. We've all been taught to think of taxes as, a penalty for making money. But what tax-free wealth argues is the total opposite. The tax code is not, I repeat, not designed to punish you. Instead, think of it like this. The tax code is a map. No, seriously, it's a treasure map drawn up by the government. And it's filled with all these clues that spell out exactly what they want people like you and me to do with our money. And here's the best part. If you just follow the map, you get the treasure. So what's the treasure? Well, they're called tax incentives. And you can just think of them as the government basically offering you a business deal. They're saying, hey, look, if you help us out with things we really care about, we'll give you a huge chunk of your money back through tax breaks. See? It's a reward system, not a punishment system at all. So what kind of stuff is actually on this map? I mean, what does the government want you to do? Well, think about it. The government can't do everything on its own, right? So they need our help. They need people to start businesses and create jobs. They need investors to build more housing or develop green energy or even invest in farming. When you do any of these things, you're basically partnering with them, and they are more than happy to reward you for it. Okay, so you're probably thinking, how do I become one of these partners? Where do I sign up? Well, the first step is figuring out where you are on the map right now. And it all comes down to what the book calls your financial identity. So Wheelwright borrows this amazing framework from Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and it splits everyone who earns money into 4 basic groups. You've got the employee, E, the self-employed, S, the business owner, B, and the investor, I. Just take a quick look and think about where you fit, because trust me, where you are on this grid makes a huge difference in how much tax you end up paying. And right here, this is the big divide. On the left side, you've got employees and self-employed folks. And these are the people who unfortunately pay the highest taxes. Why? Because they're basically trading their time for money. But on the right side, that's where you find the business owners and investors, and they pay the lowest taxes. They're doing exactly what the government's treasure map is telling them to do. They don't just work in the system, they've learned how to make the system work for them. So how do you get over to that powerful right side of the grid? Well, you need the right tools for the job. You see, the wealthy don't just magically pay less tax. They're using very specific strategies and structures that the government has literally put in place for them to use. So what's in this powerful toolkit? Well, these are the heavy hitters. We're talking about smart, strategic deductions, tax credits, which are basically like getting free money from the government, setting up business structures like LLCs that act like financial armor, and, of course, investing in the exact things the government wants, like real estate. Okay, let's zoom in on 2 of the most important tools in the box, deductions and credits. Now, they might sound kind of similar, but the difference between them is, well, it's night and day. A deduction is good, don't get me wrong, it lowers the amount of your income that gets taxed. But a tax credit? Oh, a tax credit is a complete game changer. It wipes out your final tax bill dollar for dollar. It's literally like the government is just handing you cash. Let's just look at the raw numbers here to see how big a deal this is. Let's say you're in a 25% tax bracket. A $1,000 deduction is going to save you, what, $250? That's pretty good. But a $1,000 tax credit, that saves you the full $1,000. Poof, gone from your tax bill. This is exactly why investing in things the government really wants to encourage, like affordable housing, can be so incredibly profitable. They reward you with these super powerful credits. So when you start putting all these pieces together, you realize it's about way more than just learning a few tax tricks. It's a complete shift in your entire mindset. You stop seeing yourself as just a taxpayer who gets money taken away from them, and you start acting like a wealth creator who uses the tax code as their personal blueprint for success. I mean, check out this quote from the source material, which is attributed to Donald Trump. It just shows you the sheer power of thinking this way. This isn't about finding some shady secret loophole. Not at all. It's about understanding the rules of the game so well that you can perfectly align what you do with what the government already wants to give you rewards for. And that brings us to the final and honestly the most powerful secret of them all. The goal here isn't just to save a few bucks on your taxes each year. The real strategy is to build a self-sustaining wealth engine. You take the money you save from taxes and you use it to buy more assets. Then, those new assets generate even more tax savings, which you then use to buy, you guessed it, even more assets. It becomes this incredible accelerating cycle of wealth creation. So really, the whole point of tax-free wealth isn't just about saving money. It's about what you do with that money. Once you learn the rules, once you start building this engine for yourself, the real question becomes, what are you going to do with all that extra wealth you create? Answering that, well, that's where the real adventure begins.